One last video with a few more conceptual questions involving centripetal acceleration or circular motion. So read through this. What do you think the answer is? Okay, the correct answer is A. And that's simply because that's the direction that points towards the center of the circle, which means that's the direction of the centripetal acceleration. And acceleration is always a result of having a net force. So the net force has to be in the same direction as that centripetal acceleration. Now, just side note, counterclockwise is the CCW. That's what this original arrow, that circular path arrow, represents. And by the way, the answer is A, whether the ball was rolling around counterclockwise or clockwise. The same answer would apply, as long as it was moving in the circle. Let's look at another one. What do you think here? So the correct answer is B. We know there's a centripetal acceleration that points straight downwards when the car is at the very top. And again, it's because it's moving. It's moving in a circular path. Therefore, its direction is changing, so it must have this centripetal acceleration. We know there's a force of gravity downwards, a normal force upwards, but the net force has to point down because that's the direction of the acceleration. So the force of gravity must be larger than the normal force in this case. Let's look at one last concept question. So the correct answer here is A. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these rides before. There used to be one a long time ago at Lagoon, for those of you in Utah. Big old cylindrical ride of sorts. You would walk in and stand. They would have a platform that you're standing on against the wall. Once they get it rotating, when it's rotating fast enough, that floor disappears from under your feet, yet you don't slide out. Or at least in ideal situations, you don't slide out. So in terms of choosing the free body diagram here, we know there's a force of gravity, so there has to be that downward force of gravity. And then the surface this rider is on is the wall. Remember, normal force, a surface will always point perpendicular to the surface. The wall itself is not allowing the rider to keep moving in a straight line, according to Newton's first law. Now, the rider will feel like they're being pushed against the wall, and again, that's because of their inertia. Their body wants to travel in a straight line, but the wall is in the way. The wall is pushing inwards, not allowing that to happen. Now, the last force is a force of static friction. If we did not have that upward force, then the person would just slide down the wall. Gravity would take over, they would fall out of the ride, which of course would be not good. So we're still going through the concept of recognizing our field forces versus our contact forces. And so we come up with this free body diagram in this case. As a reminder, we have to be the outside observer as we're drawing these free body diagrams to accurately account for actual forces that we see. Oftentimes we want to put in a force, for example, something pushing outwards somehow, to account for what we feel. If we've ever ridden a ride, we know we feel pushed against the wall. But again, those are not actual forces. It's just what we're feeling because of being in this accelerated reference frame. Okay, so the next videos are going to be actual problems, example problems that will be solved. So watch for the approach. The nice thing is it's very much similar to what we've been doing in this whole section. So the same type of practice will be helpful.